Hi everyone, this is John with the Eco Guys, and I have a really quick question. I get this question a lot. What about recycling clothes? Like I'm wearing this old raggedy thing because I was out working. But good question, really good question. Now, this Earth and a friend of mine, Lucy Vickers, will answer that question for us. So we're going to turn it over to her. She's got a great video about how to recycle clothes, so I'm going to give it to her, and she's going to help out. She's a great friend of the Eco Guys. So here we go. This should answer your questions about recycling clothes. Yes, they can be recycled.
The average American throws away 80 pounds of clothing every year.
This is an insane amount of clothes.
That's not good, because once our clothes go to landfill, they break down and release methane gas, a greenhouse gas that's about 30 times more potent than CO2 at trapping heat. So what should we do with our old clothes? I go to a thrift shop, meet a clothing recycler, and talk to a fast fashion rep to find out. In my mission to figure out what to do with my old clothes, I've decided to clean out my closet.
Time for me to figure out what I should get rid of and what I should keep.
Since 1990, Americans have gone from buying, on average, about 40 garments per year to, in 2016, over 65. I'm bringing these old clothes to a thrift store because that way I know whatever they buy is more likely to be reused. According to ThredUp, the clothing and apparel resale market is a $20 billion industry, and it's growing like crazy. This is a great trend because resale stores have a positive impact on the environment. One study of 22 clothing thrift stores in Sweden showed selling used clothes saved 1,500 tons of CO2 emissions over the course of a year. We could power a home for 115 years with the amount of CO2 they saved. If you don't have access to a thrift store, you can resell your clothes online at sites like eBay, Poshmark, and ThredUp. Today, I'm at Beacon's Closet, a thrift shop in Brooklyn. They carry everything from vintage to the latest styles, all of it purchased secondhand. On average, 150 people sell their clothes here every day. This is Leah Gianpietro. She's been working at Beacon's for 10 years.
Let's do this.
She's a manager and a buyer who's going to use her expert eye to decide if any of my clothes are worthy of their shelves.
I'm so nervous. Scenario, it's okay, don't worry.
Anything she buys will be marked down to 20 to 30% of the original price.
Before we get into my clothes, I'm curious to know, what do you look for when you're buying clothes?
What we look for, first and foremost, is the style, whatever is currently on trend, the condition of the items, as well as how stocked we are in different categories. But I would say, yeah, style first and foremost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I'm stylish. And what about fast fashion? I know we have so much of that now. Is that something that you guys are challenged by?
We can't often take too much of it in just because it's so readily available out there at low prices. We can't price them even less than what they retailed at to begin with.
Now for the moment of truth. In the end, Leah bought 13 of my items and rejected 33.
We did it! Yes. Yay! I made some money. Let's calculate how much I made.
So our retail value that we have here is $265.35. That's what we're gonna sell everything for in the store. So 35% of that is your cash option. So $92.87.
That's so much.
Yeah, you made a lot more than you thought you were going to. And if you wanted store credit, you have the option of taking $145.94.
I decided to take the store credit so that I can shop the used clothing in the store and save the natural resources it takes to make new clothes.
The next step is really to figure out what to do with the clothes that weren't good enough for them to buy. Where do I donate these guys? Hey guys!
This is Adam Berukowitz. He is the founder and CEO of Wearable Collections. According to Adam, his company has diverted nearly 20 million pounds of clothing from landfills since 2004. They run over 300 clothing donation locations across NYC. Today, we're meeting at his warehouse in Greenpoint, where the floor is literally covered with bags of clothing.
People feel very comfortable bringing their bags of clothing to my door and say, since you're a clothing recycler.
In 2015, Americans recycled almost 2.5 million tons of textile waste. That's equal to removing more than 1.2 million cars off the road for a whole year.
What type of clothing are you accepting? Just literally everything?
Yeah, we accept anything, but the industry standard is that about 50% needs to be reusable as secondhand, while 25% can be reused as rags, and the other 20% will be shredded up and repurposed for low-grade fiber products. So we need to stay within those industry standards in order to be a sustainable business. We're a for-profit that dedicates a portion of our proceeds to our partner charities. So when we do a drive with a school, we dedicate a portion of the proceeds to them.
And do you ever get pushback as you think when people think, oh, I'm donating my clothes, why is it not going to a nonprofit?
Some people think the charity genie comes, but really the money that can be generated from the sale of the clothes is what helps the organizations and the charities.
And it turns out that roughly 80% of donated clothing, even to charities like Goodwill and Salvation Army, gets sold to textile recycling firms.
What I know is it goes to a sorting facility, they're going to process, they're going to reuse as much as possible, and simply because it costs money to get rid of garbage. And they want to make use of this good for as much as they possibly can make use of this good.
Bye, clothes. My bags are empty. Where are we going?
The sorting facility.
Taking this truck to a sorting facility in New Jersey. Look at how many clothes are in this warehouse.
For the sorting facility, clothing is a commodity. Adam says they buy clothes at about 20 to 40 cents per pound, and then they try to resell it for a higher price. When clothes like Adam's arrive at the warehouse, they get sorted by quality and type of clothing. Then they get compressed into 1,000-pound pallets and are shipped to buyers.
It's so crazy because there's so many people working in this warehouse right now. I've seen like 30, 40 people working, and to think that all of these clothes could have just gone to the dump and be sitting in the ground forever, but instead they're creating all these jobs and all this industry is really interesting perspective. There's a whole nother room down here. Is this seriously polo? Look, it says polo. And there's a polo. That's crazy.
In 2016, the United States exported $575.5 million in used clothing. Not everyone is happy with our exports because it hurts local manufacturing markets. In recent years, 6 African countries issued a joint proposal to ban all imports of used clothing by 2019 in order to boost local textile and clothing industries. The sheer scale of the clothes at this one sorting facility is pretty shocking. It's obvious we are consuming a lot of clothes in the US, and one of the reasons for this mass consumption is fast fashion. These are cheap brands with short seasons like popular retailers H&M, Forever 21, and Zara. They create tens of thousands of affordable styles per year, which is why they're so easy to shop. I decided to reach out to H&M rep Patrick Shaner to see what they're doing to address our waste problem.
H&M started our garment collecting program worldwide in 2013. And so basically how it works is we have these beautiful boxes, our garment collecting boxes, and these are in every H&M store around the world, which is 71 countries right now. It can be any brand of clothing, it can be bed sheets, it can be one sock that you lost in the laundry. We just say bring it all. By 2030, everything that you buy in H&M will be made from more sustainably sourced materials.
In 2017, H&M says it collected 2.5 million pounds of used clothing in the US. But that's just a drop in the bucket compared to the astronomical amount of new clothes they produce each year.
This is really great, but is this enough to offset just how much you guys create?
Sure, yeah, I mean, definitely an issue, but that's why along with this at the consumer level, I'm kind of teaching people to be in a more circular mindset when they're thinking of their clothes. Those are really where we're going.
Making this video has made me realize donating and recycling our old clothes is very complicated. Seeing that huge warehouse of our used clothing and understanding that foreign countries don't even want our clothing made me aware that we're over-consuming and it's having real consequences. Right now, only 14% of our clothes get recycled, and even though recycling isn't perfect, it's still better than sending your clothes to the dump. So here's what you can do. Keep your old clothing in your community. Use a local thrift store, donate to local charities. And if those aren't near you, take advantage of recycling programs offered by companies like H&M. Or try this hack. Visit givebackbox.com/Amazon. All you do is you take an old box, fill it with used clothing, print out a prepaid shipping label from their website, bring it to your post office, and voila, your donations will be shipped for free. It's clear to me that the clothing industry has a lot of issues around sustainability. It is ripe for innovation on so many levels, and that's a whole other video that I am looking forward to making.
Danger. The emergency destruct system is now activated. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.